Insomnia. When you think of insomnia, you're thinking of someone who can't sleep for a reasonable amount of time. A typical complaint from an insomniac is not being able to close their eyes or rest their mind for over a few minutes at a time. There are many reasons for this, ranging from anxiety to bipolar disorder. Yet sometimes there's no real causes and can just happen for any given reason, but too much activity and physical pain can be causes for someone not to be sleeping at night. Finding the underlying causes is key to finding a cure for this problem. It's also been found that not eating has contributed to someone not sleeping. There are 3 types of insomnia, and they are transient insomnia, which lasts anywhere from a single night to several weeks. Acute insomnia is the inability to sleep well for a single period of 3 weeks to up to 6 months, and chronic is deemed the most serious, where it's happening nightly for at least a month or longer. There are options to treat insomnia. The most common is medicinal, since there's commercials on for Ambien CR, controlled release, Rozerem, and Lunesta prescribed for people dealing with sleeping disorders. It seems in this day and age that sleeping disorders are becoming more common and prevalent, because with the new line of sleeping pills coming out clearly shows that there is an increase of sleeping disorders of many variations. Some of the medications out there that's used in treatment of insomnia have proven that it was effective in helping insomniacs wake and sleep at the right time, but it lacks the data information to prove the theory as truth and factual. Lunesta and Ambien are noted to having a high psychological dependence than the older brands of sleeping pills, and now cognitive behavior therapy is one of the many options widely used in someone dealing with insomnia, and using the medication Rozerem because of the likelihood of getting hooked to the drug is reduced and is widely prescribed for people who have a history of overusing their medications. Some insomniacs have used herbs like chamomile when drunk in tea and lavender for aromatherapy as a means to relax. Insomnia can also result in a deficiency of magnesium, and getting the right amount has proven to improve the quality of a person's sleeping patterns. Pomegranates are also good for insomniacs, since there's a nutrient in the fruit key for everything from immunity to cardiovascular health, and are good for improving sleep. Insomniacs are also advised to eliminate a lot of the stress and tension in their lives, because this is a triggering problem in the everyday life on an insomniac. Chinese medicine has also been introduced into helping those with sleeping disorders and other issues surrounding that. According to statistics taken from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, it's estimated that 60 million Americans suffer from some type of insomnia, and is noted to increase with age. 40% of women and 30% of men suffer from this. Women tend to deal with this more because of increased level of responsibilities in their lives, since more and more households in the United States are becoming single-run homes, and 75% of women are the heads of them, which makes them the sole breadwinners and taking on the role of mother and father, which makes their lives increasingly difficult when they don't have a partner or spouse to give them the support they need. A small step that can cure your insomnia. When you are in bed and looking at your clock slowly tick the moments away, you can become very frustrated and discouraged. Insomnia is something that no one wants to suffer from. Millions of people do suffer from it every night, and there are some simple solutions that you can try that just may cure you of that insomnia almost effortlessly. When you have insomnia, it's almost as if realizing how much time you have wasted lying in bed watching the clock has made it even harder to fall asleep. You become nervous knowing that instead of a full 8 hours of rest, the best you can get now is perhaps 5 or 6. This is not the way anyone wants to spend a night. Staring at your clock won't help you fall asleep. The numbers are simply a distraction that a person falling asleep does not need. The best thing you can do is move your clock so it is out of your direct sight line. If you do this, you won't be as tempted to continuously stare at it. The added pressure of how much sleep you have already lost will be removed, and you will be much more likely to simply drift off to sleep. If this cure for insomnia is difficult for you because you like to know what time it is when you wake up, an alternative is to have a watch near the bed. If we have to turn on a light to view the time, we are much less likely to do that while trying to fall asleep. In the morning, however, when you know it is nearing time to get up, using the light to check the watch has no bearing on your sleep, since you've already gotten your full night's rest. To cure insomnia, only sleep in bed. Our beds are such a place of welcoming comfort. Many people like to sit in bed and eat dinner while watching television or study for a test while nestled under the covers. Although these scenarios bring up visions of cozy comfort, they are not visions that someone who suffers from insomnia should be having. One of the causes of insomnia can be what you are doing in your bed. If you are a person who spends more time in bed than just when you sleep, you may be setting yourself up for an insomnia problem. Our beds become associated with certain things, and if those things involve us being stimulated, when it comes to sleeping our beds, that might be difficult to do. Many people enjoy sitting in bed and watching television late at night. As they are under the covers, all dressed in their night clothes, they are stimulating their minds with the program they are watching. When it comes time to turn the television and the lights off, sleep might not come easy. Their mind is still associating what they saw on television with their bed. For people who do occasionally suffer from insomnia, making an effort to save their time in bed for only sleep or intimacy with their partner might be what they need to do. Our body's natural want to be in bed to sleep, and if that's all that we are doing there, it becomes a trigger. Once we are in bed, the desire to sleep sets in and we drift off. If instead we've been eating, watching television, studying or reading there, those associations may take over and the need to sleep takes a back seat. Save your bed for what it is designed for and you'll find that insomnia won't have a place there either. Count sheep to cure insomnia. It's almost become a joke that counting sheep will help a person sleep. It seems silly to envision a herd of sheep, each one passing by or jumping over a small fence. We silently count them in our minds and before long we're fast asleep. Although it does sound and seem foolish, counting sheep can actually be a very natural cure for insomnia. The reason isn't behind the fact that we particularly care about how many sheep we have in our imaginations, it's because of the rhythmic nature of the counting. When a person is struggling to fall asleep, often that is because their mind is moving in several different directions all at the same time. They might be thinking about work, where the children need to be for practice tomorrow, when the dentist's appointment is, and with all of that going on, the mind cannot calm down enough to allow the body to fall asleep. Instead, insomnia sets in, and instead of the person's mind growing peaceful, it becomes more active. The idea that counting sheep works stems from the fact that if we concentrate on one thing, our mind and body will naturally relax. If you envision sheep and start counting them, the rhythm of that can help lull you to sleep. For people who say it works, they usually cannot recall how many sheep they silently counted before falling asleep. That's because it worked, and it worked quickly. The practice is certainly worth a try for those people who do suffer from the occasional bout of insomnia. It doesn't need to be sheep. If you're fonder of dogs, cats or birds, make them your counting partner, and before long your insomnia won't measure into your sleep equation at all because it will be invisible.